Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Surah Yasin, lesson 34, verse number 26 and 27. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qila dakhulil Jannah. It was said to Habib Najjar, you enter Jannah. He was crucified and killed, died a martyr, and died on the hal or the condition of ikhlas, a state of sincerity and genuineness. قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون. And then in that posthumous state, in that Jannah, he mentions, were it that my people knew what I'm experiencing, showing a yearning for even those who responded with evil. They were evil, they were bad, they were treacherous, they were murderers. Yet he is hoping for goodness for these people. بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. I wish they could see that the forgiveness bestowed upon me and that I was made to be of the mukramin, someone of karama, a wali of the awliya of Allah Ta'ala. We listed several points in this verse. We discussed number 1, the Jannah, its various gates and a description. We mentioned the reality of the sincere after death, which is what this verse touches on. We mentioned the ahwal of the martyrs, the 3 types of shuhada. We then mentioned a passage from the Ihya Ulumuddin of Imam al-Ghazali on the states of those who remember death before death. And we said they are the munhamik, the one who dislikes speaking about death and remembering it. There is the ta'ib, the one who always repents after committing a sin. And he is on a journey to his beloved, his creator, but he's always late. He's likened to someone late, and he's trying to make right before he meets his creator. And the arif, the gnostic, who cannot wait to meet his creator, as he finds this world to be an abode which is keeping him from being in the noble countenance of his creator. We then discussed number 6, ikhlas, genuineness and sincerity, and the levels of sincerity, which brings us to where we are right now. Clearly this verse states that this man was of the mukramin, someone who was blessed with karama, and that is to be honored. Karama, it is to be in such a state that you have proximity to the creator, you have been drawn closer. While the door of nubuwah, prophethood, is closed, the door of wilaya, karamat, is maftuh, it is open. And it is bestowed upon people whom Allah Ta'ala selects. And we can see the wisdom of the elders who held fast to the Surah Yasin, and why they often read it. And in Cape Town here we have many karamat, we call it karamat. We have people who were slaves and came to the city, and they are buried right around the city, everywhere. And they are places of, they are symbols of karamat, of nobility. People who kept up their deen and who treated people with dignity. They did not respond in kind. The way they were treated, they did not respond in kind. Much like Habib Najjar here, who did not respond in kind. And that is the maqam of the awliya. They don't respond taking their sunnah from the enemy. They respond taking their sunnah from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they respond with beauty. These are the gems and the realities in the Quran. And we need to be careful how we react and respond in public. And this is crucial. Where do we take our responses from? It needs to be rooted within the ideas vested in the lives of the awliya, for they are teaching us the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the lessons here are amazing, in that no matter how people may treat you, you don't need to respond in kind. You have the choice to respond with what is better. Habib Najjar did not respond in kind. He still made dua for these people. He chose hope whilst alive. He chose to be genuine whilst alive, and that is his hal and his condition in the next life. He was selfless in his generosity, both here and in the akhirah. Is there any real benefit in your life, in this dunya and the akhirah, if you hold to anger, or you hold to hatred, and you curse people, and you dislike people, and you wish that people are destroyed and get what's coming to them? That was not the prophetic spirit here. We need to find what is called spiritual fulfillment, not just this material fulfillment. You can have wealth and you can have status and power and have what you want, but that does not bring that spiritual fulfillment. And therefore, these people were called karamat. They were symbols of that dignity and nobility, that prophetic spirit which they were blessed with. The qualities of the awliya are manifold. Primarily, it is number one, tawadu, humility. They have such immense humility that they don't deem themselves to be of the awliya. And when they are in a gathering, they don't deem themselves better than anybody around them. I've heard some of the sheikhs, massive imams, reading encyclopedias of knowledge. All they would say to us is, Ana naqil. I am but a transmitter. I'm just reading the text as passed on and a channel and a vehicle of knowledge. They never hold themselves to be this great awliya and sheikhs. So humility is the foundation, and that is the sunnah we are trying to grab hold of. Not just how we can master the sunnah externally, and not to externalize spirituality, but to internalize it and to gain one sunnah internally of the heart. And that takes real criticism of the self and introspection, to sit down at night and ask the self, do I deem myself better than anybody else? And this type of questioning is what the tasawwuf is about. It's not about them, it's about me and my creator. Am I genuine toward him? Do I find myself to be better than others? Or am I ascending in humility? Ascending in humility. Number two, they have immense tawakkul. They depend on Allah Ta'ala. They don't depend on anybody else. You can run to the wali and ask him for dua, and I guarantee you he fears his creator more than you. He's going to ask his creator, but through the barakah, the du'as are readily accepted. Another quality mentioned in the Quran of the awliya, la khawfun alayhim. There's no fear upon them. They don't fear anything in this world. They fear their creator, but nothing material can really place fear in their heart. وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, and they don't despair. They never feel like victims, like the world is against them, that everyone else is just out to get me. So if you find a wali, grab hold of the wali's hand, because he is a positive vessel of hikmah, wisdom. He fears his Lord, he despairs in nothing, he has immense humility, and he depends on Allah Ta'ala. And therefore the Prophet ﷺ said in hadith sahih, Nadhrul mu'min ibadah, just to stay in the face of a believer and a wali of the awliya, it is an act of ibadah. It's immense ibadah, because you are staring at a face of nur, of light, a symbol of humility and tawakkul and positivity, and it will rub off on you. And lastly, they are vessels of rahmah. They are immensely merciful, that they just disseminate what they have and they share it with people. They are vessels of giving. I want to end of the session, before we start with our next verse in the next session, with a narration from Imam Abdullah bin Alawi al-Haddad in his book of Wisdom and Knowledge. He narrates that one day a group of negligent people, a jama'a min ahli al-ghafla, they were negligent with takhlit, and they were often wasting their time. اجتمعوا في موضع, they gathered at a place. بعثوا شخصا منهم ب20 درهما, they gave one of their own 20 dirhams. ليأخذ لهم بها من الفواكه والطيب ونحوها. And they told him, go and buy some perfume and go and buy some fruits. Let's adorn our gathering like the Ahlul Dhikr are doing these. Those of Dhikr, they have nice perfumes and scents. Let's do likewise. So they sent him to the market to go and buy these things. فَلَمَّا ذَهَبَ إِلَى السُّوقِ لِيَشْتَرِيَ لَهُمْ ذَلِكَ. So when he went to the shop to go buy, the market to buy these items, وَجَدَ النَّاسُ مُجْتَمِعِينَ عَلَى بِالطِّيخَةِ. He found a whole host of people surrounding a watermelon. كُلٌّ مِّنْهُمْ يُرِيدُ أَنْ يَشْتَرِيهَا. All of them competing to buy this watermelon. Why? لأن بشر بن حارث رحمه الله تعالى ونفع به مسها بيده. Because a man by the name of Bishr al-Hafi merely brushed that watermelon with his hand. His skin touched the watermelon. Who is Bishr al-Hafi? He is the man who Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the master of the Hanbali school of thought, the jurist, the man who documented 30 volumes of hadith, sat on the floor within the street. And when they asked him, why do you sit by that peasant? He said, I've mastered jurisprudence, but Bishr knows Allah better than I do. And remember, Bishr was a drunkard of Baghdad, and he picked up a piece of paper with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim on it, rubbed it on his eyes, kissed it, put it on his mantle, and that night dreamt that he was told, Ya Bishr, you have perfumed my name, your ruh will now be perfumed. The result is that Bishr's name has been immortalized in every single book of Tasawwuf for 1,000 years. He brushed this watermelon and they competed to buy it. And this boy competed with them and actually won and bought the watermelon. وَذَهَبَ بِهَا إِلَىٰ أَصْحَابِهِ بَعْدَ أَنْ أَبْطَأَ عَلَيْهِمْ. And he came very late back to his companions. And when he arrived there, they asked him, وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا تِلْكَ الْبِطِّيخَةِ. He had nothing but this watermelon. And they asked him, قالوا, they said, that you are so slow in coming back, and yet you bring us only one watermelon. فقال لهم, and he says to them, إن في هذه البطيخة عجبا. There is a wondrous thing in this watermelon. قالوا, they said, وما ذاك, and what is this wondrous thing? قال لهم, and he says to him, مسها بشر بن الحارث. Bishr al-Harith, he touched it بيده with his hands. فنافست عليها, and I competed for it with to get it حتى أخذتها بدراهم, until I won it and I gave the money to them. And they asked him, who is this Bishr? And he said to them, هو عبد أطاع الله فأكرمه. He was a slave who worshipped Allah with such a state that Allah blessed him with karama. And فرجع بعضهم إلى بعض, they gathered, they discussed what happened, and this is what they had to say. This is what they said. If this is the status that Allah grants a human being in this dunya, that people will compete for something he touched, what is his state in the akhirah? And they changed the way they lived. They never looked back, just because of the hand of the wali that touched the watermelon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.